The singer Brocarde claims to have married the ghost in October 2022, but their relationship quickly deteriorated as he began an affair with actress Marilyn Monroe. Till Dead Do Us Part took on a whole new meaning when an English performer and a singer known as Brocarde married the ghost of a Victorian soldier on Halloween in 2022. Unfortunately, the union was not meant to be, and now the 40-year-old Oxfordshire native has announced her divorce from her late husband by means of exorcism. Come again? As the Daily Mail reported, Brocarde claimed to have met her now ex-husband, Edwardo, after he burst into her bedroom uninvited in one dark stormy night. It already sounds like something you'd find on some fanfic sites or Tumblr. How did he truly burst, or was it ectoplasm? As it just so happens to be, she, the singer, had an argument with a friend that same evening and was left perplexed. She described the night as upsetting. Nothing that rain was lashing at the windows, then out of nowhere she said she felt an intense burning in her heart, which slowly spread outward throughout her whole body, making her tingle, before it passed down and out through her toes. I was compelled upright in bed, she said, forced into a sitting position. I reached back to turn on the bedside light, but my hand was forced back away. I tried again. This time I was able to pull the cord. Brocarde then explained that she felt warmth on her neck as she heard someone whisper, "I love you." With those words, she said, the spirit departed and the room felt cold. Now alone in her room once again, Brocarde said tears streamed down her face as she shook in her bed. After this initial encounter, the devilishly handsome Edwardo slowly revealed himself more to the singer. Well, I gotta say, that's not how you seduce women nowadays, Edwardo. That's how you get yourself a restraining order and a jail. I saw his image as a Victorian soldier. He was always in his uniform, even on our wedding day. His face is devilishly handsome, shoulder-length unruly hair. He looks lived in, well-worn. Troubled almost. There's a pain attached to his being, she said. His voice is commanding and forceful, yet he whispers to seduce. Calm down, my heart. Even I'm starting to feel the heat. And I'm not that particularly into ghosts or men. He does sound like a heartthrob. You go, girl. This seduction evidently proved successful, amazingly so, as the two supposedly married on October 31st in 2022, a video of which was shared on the singer's Instagram. Almost got teary-eyed from seeing them all happy and smiling, especially Edwardo. He really got dressed, didn't he? However, the couple hit a rough patch after Edwardo allegedly ghosted her for disclosing their relationship to the public. I wrote the song to win Edwardo back after he ghosted me for publicly disclosing our romance. I wanted it to express the passion that I feel within my soul ever since meeting Edwardo, said the singer. Even after that rough patch, apparently there were signs that would become troublesome later down the line. In fact, even their wedding didn't quite go as planned. According to Brocarde, the wedding open to both the living and the dead, saw a star-studded crowd such as Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, and even King Henry VIII. Monroe in particular caused a stir at the reception. I mean, that's just typical Marilyn, if you ask me. She likes to be the center of the attention. Edwardo just couldn't resist winding me up and made an inappropriate comment about her looking hot, slammed the singer. I was like, wow, really? It's our wedding day. The comment completely ruined my evening. And now I don't like that Edwardo guy. You think because he was a Victorian soldier that he'd have some decorum, but apparently not. What a douche. Brocarde claimed the spirit began to show increasingly possessive tendencies. She alleged that he would bounce between acting in a threatening way and being warm and intense. Our relationship had always been turbulent from the beginning, with the stark contrast of him being threatening and possessive, and then warm and intense, but I slowly began to tire of being married to a free spirit, she said. He was inconsistent, barely present. Now I can see that being true, even if I don't know them both. Somehow it just makes sense that he would not be present at all, in fact. Being free spirit and all that stuff, it comes with a certain expectations, you know. Free as in him wanting to do whatever he likes, and spirit as in not being real. Now it did not just end on him remarking Monroe being hot. Oh no! Brocarde claimed Edwardo became obsessed with her, Marilyn Monroe. She became his unsettling fascination. As ex-wife now claims, it didn't take long apparently for Edwardo to be unfaithful. After his first brush with Monroe, Brocarde said that he would disappear for days on end and reappear smelling of Chanel No. 5. Monroe's signature perfume scent. I mean, it's a dead giveaway. If he smelled of Chanel No. 5, no doubt there. He probably met her regularly somewhere in some ghostly tavern in England, where Monroe was known to be frequent, because of all of that fascination she had with the Victorian era. And now that I think about it, let's take a closer look at their wedding clip. Yes, right there. Do you see it? Let me zoom in so you can see how he smiled even more as he glanced down the aisle. He was probably looking at Marilyn at that exact moment. What a scumbag, I say. Infidelity is seeping out of his lustful, ghostly eyes. The singer explained that the scent would fill the room with Edwardo when he returned. But this wasn't Brocarde's only issue with her ghostly husband. She also expressed frustration with how drunk Edwardo got on their honeymoon on Berry Island in Wales. Edwardo obviously doesn't have a bank card, so it's always me that has to pick up the tab everywhere we visit, Brocarde said according to a New York Post, and he certainly likes to go wild in our hotel room minibars. Of course he's a gold digger. It all makes sense now. Why else would he want such a young wife with earthly possessions? Damn, sometimes I feel like I'm a true detective. Liquor bottles are always mysteriously left empty. Aside from the gin bottle, they are always left standing. He's obviously not that partial to the spirit. Brocarde said that her husband insisted that the newlyweds buy 12 bottles of the best champagne upon arrival at the hotel. Things have not gotten any better, says Brocarde, who released a brand new single called It's Christmas Again, which details what it's like to be the wife of a ghost at Christmas time. Edwardo is really jealous at Christmas. I have tried every day this week to put the Christmas tree up, but he just keeps knocking it over, explained Brocarde. He hates the thought of Santa coming down the chimney, and he even tried to board it up. I have told him that Santa visits everyone and he doesn't have a crush on me, but he just doesn't understand. But I gotta say, I kinda see his point here. Santa coming down at night like that through the chimney to leave some presents. Yeah, that does sound like something a lover would do, not an imaginary plump guy who likes good kids. And who's to stop Santa from developing feelings for her down the line? I mean, if she can win over a 150-plus-year-old soldier, then a perpetually old, fat man poses no challenge. Unsure of what to do, Brocarde visited a psychic and discussed how to best assert her boundaries. I came to the conclusion that the journey with Edwardo had no positive conclusion and his energy was dragging me down, the singer said. There was no breakup conversation. I consulted a psychic medium to help me assert my boundaries over Edwardo and to try to tame him, but it didn't work. The psychic consultation upset Edwardo as well, and shortly after he grew increasingly more aggressive and nasty and began to haunt me with the sound of a screaming baby. Brocarde said she should have known better than to visit medium when he is home. She should have gone on the days he was away having an affair. But I know hindsight is 2020. Brocarde said that this was the final nail in the proverbial coffin, and she returned to the chapel in which they exchanged vows. This time, however, her goal was to exorcise the spirit. No one sees the problem here? Just me? Isn't exorcising spirits supposed to, well, you know, set them free or banish them to hell? Would that technically be a form of murder? I don't know. The singer claimed that the exorcism was successful. After hours he was finally purged from my system, she said. I felt light and free and excited to be released of this troubled spirit. Man, that's a goddamn murder. Following the exorcism, divorce, Brocarde said her life feels more light and joyful. I'm quite adamant that I no longer want to be haunted by Edwardo, so his presence isn't welcome in my life, she said. I mean, sure, that's totally okay, but did you go a bit too far in that regard? I mean, exorcism is a tad too much, don't you think? Or maybe he didn't wanna let you go and wanted to have a threesome with Merlin. And I understand totally. Details of their divorce were also used as the basis for the singer's new song, Just Another Anthem. Yep, that's right, she didn't just divorce, didn't exorcise the guy, she even wrote a song about him and made a music video. She might very well be the next Taylor Swift, a rockish version. I encourage you all to go and listen to her song or songs, it's an experience, a good one. Anyway, that's all for today. I just discovered the story and was fascinated immediately, so I had to make a quick video. Hope you all enjoyed it. See ya.